Hello my beautiful crafty friends. So today I'm going to be using some backgrounds to make some amazing cards. The other day I was doing some acrylic pouring. If you haven't seen my attempt at that, I will link that up there and down below. The pours themselves were not masterpieces. However, with the leftover paint, I did create some really cool backgrounds, and I also used some tin foil to help do some kind of smushed backgrounds. And I think they turned out really, really cool. I'm actually more excited about the backgrounds than I am about the paintings themselves. So I wanted to show them to you before I started cutting them all up. So there's some really cool texture. This one kind of looks like confetti to me. So they all turned out very different, but they all turned out very cool. So before I start cutting them up, I just wanted to show you what they look like. And I think I'm gonna definitely kind of use this technique with the crumpled up tinfoil and acrylic paint to do some more of these kinds of backgrounds. But for now, let's turn them into some easy cards. All right, so I'm gonna get some supplies ready and let's go. Okay, so the first few cards that I'm going to make are going to be using this Waves plate by Birch Press Design. So it's actually 3 different layers, although you don't have to use all 3. So layer A is very, very intricate, and then B, and then C. So 3 different variations of intricacy, and I'm kind of using them all in different ways. So my first idea just uses a piece of my background, and then I cut the, using the B plate, just the B plate, I cut this out of a blue cardstock. I don't know if it has a specific name. And I'm just going to put it on there, and I'm just going to use the B. And then I'm going to use one of these Tim Holtz chipboard sentiments. So first I'm going to put this onto my card base. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this first onto my card base. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere my B plate on. I'm just going to use something heavy on top of that for a couple minutes, just until it's completely dry. Okay, and then I've got this little dragonfly. It just came in a bunch of chipboard pieces from the dollar store, and I have painted it, or I've just put some white gesso on it, and I'm just going to glue it down, and then I'm going to add something shimmery to it. Okay, I've got some Nouveau glitter drops that I'm going to add to my dragonfly, and then this card will be done. Starting off very simple. You don't need, when the background is like this busy, you don't really need a lot going on. Okay, I've got this glitter pen. I might do just a little bit of glitter over top of this as well, just to tie it in. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside to dry. The second one, I have a piece of metallic cardstock, super pretty, kind of like a tealy color. Okay, so that is going to go onto my card base, and then out of my background I used the C plate. So that's going to go on top of that, and then I used the A plate and cut that out of gold, and that is going to go on top of that. So last time I just used the B, this time I'm using the C and the A. So they don't all have to be used at the same time. You can like mix and match and you can do you. Okay, and then for this, for a die cut this intricate, you can either put a little wet glue down and use like a sponge to put it on, or you could use something like this, which is a spray adhesive, which makes it a lot easier. I'm going to use one of my trusty, what do you call them, roasting pans. I use these for pretty much everything that makes a mess. It helps if you have better aim than I do. I think half of that adhesive missed the die cut. Okay, and then that's going to go right on top of this. All right, and that's what that one looks like. I think that is absolutely stunning. I'm very, very pleased with this. I might keep that block on for a little bit longer actually, because some of these tiny little pieces are coming up, so I'm going to keep that on for a little while longer. And in the meantime, I'm going to use this Altenew Be Kind die set, and so it's got a shadow and the words itself. So I've cut the shadow out twice, and I'm gonna put it together just for a little bit of added dimension, and then I've cut the actual words Be Kind out 3 times, and I've stacked those together so it is a little bit thicker as well. And then I'm going to heat emboss the shadow in gold and the actual words Be Kind in like a deep blue. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the shadow and use some gold embossing powder on it. I'm using a Ranger blue embossing powder for the blue. The gold, I think the gold was Hero Arts, but I can't remember. It's been out of the package for quite a long time now. I decided that I needed to cut it out of the cardstock, the metallic cardstock that's in the background. The other blue just wasn't working for me. It wasn't quite right, and I couldn't get past it. So I decided to abandon ship on that idea and cut it out of the original metallic. And I think that looks great. It gets lost a little bit, but I wanted it to be subtle, so I think I'm okay with it. Yeah, I like it. Okay, perfect. Moving on. So the third variation of this card, again, I'm starting with some deep blue cardstock, the metallic stuff, and this time I'm going to use all 3 layers. So I'm starting with the white C layer. Just going to wipe away any excess glue that seeps out, because you can really see it on this metallic cardstock. Okay, and then the B layer is the one that I cut out of the background that I made. So I'll glue that down, and then the A layer is going to be out of silver metallic cardstock. I just love how it completely transforms with every layer. It's crazy. It's So cool. It's a very, very well done die. I'm very impressed with it. You certainly don't have to do much to make it look pretty amazing. All right, so you could leave it right there, or you could go one step further and do this amazing silver detail, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to see if I can get better aim spraying using the spray adhesive. Okay, and then I'm just going to adhere that to a note card. I was going to pop it up, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to keep it flat because the sentiment is going to be popped up. Alright, and then I'm going to use one of my Tim Holtz sentiment strips here. I think I'm going to go with this one. Today is full of possibilities. Okay, so that is card 3. I'm going to set that off on the side to dry. Okay, so for my last card, I had a couple of scraps of one of the backgrounds left over. And then I had all of these bits from using all the different plates. So I've got some silver, some gold, some of the tealy kind of background. So I'm like, I didn't want to waste them because they're just such pretty little swirls. I'm a big fan of swirls. So I decided that I was going to use them somehow. My plan is to just kind of tuck a whole bunch all the way around there. And then I've cut out a little frame out of silver, and I'm going to put that over top once all the swirls are in place. And bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so I'm going to, I think I'm going to grab just the silver ones, I think, for this card. And I'm going to kind of create some swirlies all over the place. Okay, well, it took me forever and a day to figure out my placement of swirls because, as we all know, decisiveness is not one of my strong suits. I'm okay with that. I've come to accept it. Moving on, let's put a little frame around this just to kind of finish it off. I've used some tiny little strips of foam adhesive so I can pop this sucker up just a little bit and give it some dimension. Okay, fabulous. And I was thinking about just using another one of those strips because I'm kind of in love with them right now and they're easy. And and the easy button is the way I feel like going right now. So I've got one that says be true to you and I love that. And I think I'm just gonna pop her in there. I do feel like it needs some color on the edges, but I don't know how. Ooh, actually, what if I did tiny little corners? I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna use up, that's why I don't throw anything away until the very, very, very bitter end, because I always find ways to use even the tiniest of scraps. Okay, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Yep. We made the right decision, folks. Okay. And there is that one made out of the scraps of the other ones. So just to recap, this is our first one with just one layer of the dye. And then we made this one, which I think is my favorite. I really quite like that one. And then this one with the silver. And then this one out of the scraps. So that's some pretty awesome different variations out of the same die. It is a bit of a pricey die, but I think it's worth it because there is definitely a lot of ways that you can use it, and I think it's a very, very cool cool addition. I love the layering dies a lot. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I have enough things prepped for probably another, I don't know, at least 12 cards. I don't know how I thought this was all going to go in one video. So we're going to have another few videos with these same backgrounds, using different ways of working with the backgrounds. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you again very soon. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'm sending you huge hugs. Bye.